Okay guys, in the last tutorial what we did was we went ahead and we entered a fruit and price. So what we did was we did all this stuff. So we right clicked, we went to events, remember, we went to item, and when the state was changed, what did we do? You know, we got the selected index and showed the other one. We also went ahead and used an input dialog box to add things. Okay, so what we're going to do in this tutorial is we're going to do the other part. We're going to remove fruit and price. So there's a couple things we have to do. There's some stipulations here, like don't allow them to enter a price greater than 25. I'll do one of these. I want you guys to figure out the rest, but I'll go ahead and show you how to remove some stuff. Okay, so what tool do we need here? Let's see. First thing we're going to do is when we click remove fruit and price, we're going to have to click what index we want to remove. Okay, so we're going to add a few and just keep track of the index. And then we're going to, if that index exists, we're going to remove it. So how do we get the index here? Which one are we going to use? So get the number of items in a combo box. Good. And we also have to get an integer from the user. So we're right here. So let's start with this one. Okay. Let's go to our design. And we're going to make another button. And this button, we're going to remove stuff. So you could just put in the text add and remove. I'm not going to do that, but you could go ahead and do that if you want. All right. So this is the code for this button, okay? Now if we say int x equals, okay, this is good. You option pane show dialog. So what's going on here is we're parsing this stuff in here. This is going to return a string. By parsing it, it'll return an integer. So we're going to say, please input index to delete. This is just easier to do with indices, okay? And then we're going to say this. We have to check to see if the index is in the combo box. How do we do that? Well, let's look back at our tools. How about if we got the number of items in the combo box and we check to see if our index is greater than that? Remember, if we have 2 items, our index could be a maximum of 1 because the first item is 0 and the second item is 1. So we're going to see if that our index is less than or equal to the count minus 1. It's a little tricky. So we're going to say if x is less than minus 1. Now we have, I think it's Combobox2. Okay. So what that'll do, remember, let's say there's 5 items in the box. The count goes from 0 to 4. So they're going to enter, I want to get rid of index whatever, 0. The user is going to enter the index, and it'll go ahead and get rid of it. So we're just going to assume that they know it starts at 0, okay? So let's say this, okay? Now, how do we remove an item? Remove an item at a specific index right there, okay? I don't know if I copied that. Let's try that again. Okay. Remember, it's Combobox2 at x. Now we also want to remove the corresponding item on the other, so the price. Okay. So now we're removing the price and we're removing the item. That's all we have to do. If it doesn't, maybe we just make a message like else. We'll say, let's go ahead and go to our design. Now, I don't really have an error label. I'm just going to throw this here. And I'm going to call this error LBL. Okay. Else, I'm going to do this. This dot error label dot set text. All right, error. Okay. Now, could that happen? Could they accidentally enter in a value that isn't in the box. Of course they can, right? So let's go ahead and test this out. What I'm going to do just to make this easy for myself is I'm going to put in a few states here. Okay, I'm going to go to here. I'm going to go to properties, and I'm just going to enter in like A, B, C. And I'm just going to enter in some capitals. I'm going to put like, I don't know, Z, X, C. So I don't have to keep, putting stuff in. Okay, so we have, all right, A is Z, C is X, good. So we're going to say, please enter an index to delete. Let's delete index 1. That'll be the second value. So now when we go here, A is gone. Good. Now let's go, now we have 0, 1, 2. Let's go ahead and get rid of index 2. Error. This one doesn't count. So you only have 0 and 1. You can't get rid of the first one. So we have an error. So that one works. Pretty cool. You can't get rid of that first index. It doesn't count. So I didn't know that. Now I know. All right. So pretty neat. And let's try again. Let's get rid of index R. And you'll notice it crashes on you. Let's get rid of index 45. We can't. You get an error. All right, we get an error right here. So that's kind of cool. That'll take care of that. The next thing we didn't really tackle in the last video is how would I limit the number of items that would allow the user to enter? Let's say, so we have right now, we have our state. And if you notice, you go back here, they're still here, right? We have 0, 1, 2. So we have 3 items. Let's say I don't want them to enter more than 5 items, right? So I'm going to do this. And if I look here, right, enter state, enter capital. What I'm going to do is this. If this dot j combobox3 dot I forget the code there. Get item count. All right, is less than, we'll just say 5. Oh, mistake there, okay? Okay, we'll do that. So if the item count, you should have your stuff lined up. It looks nicer when you do. We'll just do this, right? Else, let's just print an error. Else we'll say this dot error label dot set text error 2, just so we know it's a different error. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and try this. Enter state, I don't know, T, Y, error 2. So now if you look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. You can't remove the first item, but it does count as 5 items, so we can't do it. It doesn't let you. So this line of code right here will limit the number of items you could put in. All right. Now, if you're putting in integers, we didn't do that, but if you're putting in integers, you could limit an integer by doing something similar. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this one. I'm going to comment this out, and I'm going to comment this out, and I'm going to do this. Int val equals okay, and what we're going to do is we want to enter in an integer in a input box. So how do we do this? So this will get an input box to enter an integer. So we're going to use this. Okay. We're just going to say enter in a number. And what this will do is it'll get an integer. Now let's do this. Let's only put it inside the combo box if it's less than 10. So if x is less than 10, and we're just going to say this dot j combo box 3 dot add item integer dot toString x. Okay? So this will go ahead and add x. Else, let's just say the maximum we could put in is like 5. Else we'll do this. This dot j combo box 3 dot add item, I don't know, 5. Okay? So if they put in any value that's greater than 10, we're just going to default it to 5. Let's try it. Let's put 900. And we'll put in, I don't know, F. So if we do this, it puts in 5. Right? It won't put in anything greater than 5. How about if we said, let's just get rid of index 3. Let's go ahead and try this again. Cancel. Let's put in 3. And, I don't know, I. So if we do this now, you'll notice 3. That works because that doesn't exceed the max. Okay? So if you go ahead and look at this problem now, I've used all of these tools. I've showed you how to use them. We've solved some of these problems. So you could go ahead and solve all of these problems. You'll see here complete 4. We're going to complete all of them. So I expect all of you to be able to get the 5% extra credit on this assignment because you all should be able to do all 6 of them since I went over it. Okay, good luck. I hope you found this tutorial helpful and entertaining.